This phone, the Samsung S24 Ultra, has a way of staying in the news even 1.5 years after its release. Now, this phone has its own fair share of ups and downs. But truth be told, this was one of the S series phones which garnered a hell lot of attention. Even more attention than the S25 Ultra did. Why is that? Well, the form factor as usual was amazing, the cameras amazing, the screen this time, as you can see, very low reflections. And this was the first time someone did this on a phone, especially a phone like this, and it instantly became a hit. Obviously, there were a lot of Samsung customers who faced issues with their Samsung phone, but thanks to Samsung's low repair prices and easy warranties, things were not as bleak as they could have been. But a year and a half later, this phone came down to 75,000 rupees. And at that price, it became the flagship nothing phone 3 couldn't be. Well, the S24 Ultra really excels in a lot of things. But it's 1.5 year old and things have changed since. The OnePlus 13 outperforms the S24 Ultra outrightly. So does the iQOO 13. There are a lot of phones who can perform better in raw tasks than the S24 Ultra. Then why should you still buy this phone in 2025? Well, that's what I'm here for. I've got this phone just like some of you guys and some of you who are thinking of getting this. And if you're one of those people, make sure that you drop a thumbs up to me and subscribe to this channel because we talk tech. We don't promote things. Well, let's talk about the S24 Ultra. Even a year later, I find this design very, very compelling. Yes, the S25 Ultra has a more modern touch, or as people would say it. I don't really like that design. I don't know why. It just doesn't fit right with me. It feels too circular from the sides, which just doesn't work with me. In contrast, the S24 Ultra's design still really steals my heart. This candy bar design, these flat edges. Yes, they do poke into my hands, but I feel like that is just the cost of ownership here, and I don't really mind it. Right? The screen is absolutely amazing. 1 year later, I still don't see a lot of devices that can really match the screen, especially that coating. So when first S24 Ultra released, I was one of the few in the camp of there's not a lot of difference. But honestly, once you start using it, there's no going back. There's no going back to shiny screens. Now I have a MacBook Air M4. I have an iPad Pro M4. Both amazing devices, both with great screens, and the reflections irritate me. When I'm using this, not a problem, and that really changes your perspective on how you use your phone. And if you do give it a shot, if you do give it a try, you'll know what I'm talking about. Moreover, this phone does have a lot of quality of life features, which I find really nice, especially in the UI. A lot of things are very intuitive, and when I was someone who came from an iPhone. So as you can assume, it took me a bit of time to know my way around One UI. Obviously, not as much as a lot of people who really say that Android is very difficult, very specific. I was very easy into the ecosystem. Surprisingly, when I came from the iPhone, my WhatsApp got transferred without any issues, without any hiccups. I did not lose any of the chats. I even got the Samsung Galaxy Watch 6 Classic to be paired with this phone. And all in all, the phone has been really great. I even took the Samsung Care, which ensures that my device stays protected in the long term. It was a very easy process. So those of you who have bought the Apple Care Plus in India, for India, the process is a little more, in depth in contrast to what it is for other countries. So if you want to buy the Apple Care Plus in India, you have to call that call center. They'll send you a contract. You sign the contract. You pay the money, and all of that takes place. For Samsung, the process is fairly simple, right? You go to the app. You select your plan. They have multitudes of plan, by the way. Unlike Apple, which just tells you you have to get 2 years. Samsung does have varied amount of plans, and once that plan is about to finish, you can upgrade it. So it's really nice. Moreover, when you talk about the OS, also the kind of apps that you can run, the freedom it gives you is very high. Obviously, in contrast to probably Google Pixel, you will still see a touch of restrictions and things you can't do on Samsung phones. Specifically, that the OS is very tailor-made to the devices in a way that it does what it is supposed to. It allows you to customize the way it's supposed to, but not more than that. So what I've done is I have customized my icon pack. I don't know if you're able to see the screen here. I'm using the Delta icon pack, and I've done this without rooting, no root mods, anything of that sort. I just use the GoodLock app that is available in Samsung, and that brings me to customization. I think the customization ability on Samsung phones is really good. It gives you exactly what you need to. It does not give you so much stuff that you may destroy your phone, you may cause some, problems. Compared to that, Samsung gives you just the right amount of customization, which I feel is really nice. Moreover, one very interesting thing which I realized, I came from the iPhone 15 Pro Max, and a thing that I immediately realized was how stable the system was. Now, I am not talking about the iOS 26 beta. I understand it's a beta, so obviously it's going to have bugs, and me complaining about what is wrong in iOS 26 beta doesn't make sense because it's a beta. But when you talk about the stable iOS also, today most of the Apple users will agree that the updates have become a little buggy. A lot of my friends who use Apple devices also have been facing a lot of issues where suddenly volume increases, the volume of typing increases, all of these things happen. Compared to that, on the Samsung S24 Ultra, things are very smooth. And yes, compared to other Androids, the security update situation is really great. You get very prompt security updates, and even to older devices, the updates are really great. Now, when it comes to updating the OS, that's a different story. Samsung has been falling behind in order to perfect the things, which I feel is a okay trade-off. But from what I'm hearing recently, a lot of devices are yet to receive the One UI 7 update itself. So yeah, the situation needs a little bit of fixing. It's not dire. When you talk about performance, now this is somewhere where I feel a lot of people are going to be, debating whether or not to buy the S24 Ultra. And here's the download, here's the basic, TLDR that you need to know. The S24 Ultra performs like any flagship phone right now. It is not going to show you signs of age. It's not going to show you signs of lag. Image captures are fast. Video taking is fast. There's no stutter anywhere. There's no lag anywhere. You're not going to feel like you're using an older phone. It honestly performs as good as any 2025 flagship. And that's not mostly to the credit of Samsung per se, but rather to the credit of chip makers, because the chips have gotten so fast. They've gone beyond how much of it can Android use. See, Android in itself is not a very heavy system per se, and on most flagship chips, it does not use a lot of resources, right? So when you talk about the S24 Ultra, the internals are actually an overkill for the software. So you're not going to feel any issue, any slowdowns per se. Battery life in comparison to latest flagships is going to be a little problematic for you. You're not going to get the same amount of battery life that a 2025 flagship would give you, but the battery life here is no slouch. Very honestly, the idea that your phone should last 1.5 days is really nice, but no phone actually lets you do it. And all of it is largely dependent on your usage. I can tell you that I have been using this and I get like a day's use out of it. But then my usage and your usage is going to differ. So don't go by my usage. I honestly feel the battery life is decent, is what I can tell you. If you are a heavy user, you are going to need to charge it at the end of the day, right? Aside from that, are you missing out on major features? Not really. S24 Ultra gets most of the major features that S25 Ultra gets. Obviously, some onboard AI systems are not, working as well, which is absolutely fine. Very honestly, and this will be a hot take. Use of AI on phones, like integrated use of AI is not really a very big deal. So for example, I use Airtel. I have Perplexity Pro free. So I use that. I have Gemini free. I use that. And that's enough, right? You don't always need very big AI features. Most of the people don't use half of them. One good thing is obviously S24 Ultra has the non-nerfed S Pen. So this still has the Bluetooth remote capability. Not that I have used it a lot, very honestly, but it's good to know that in case I want to take a group photo, I do have like a shutter remote. So that's great. Performance wise, I am not a gamer. I don't do gaming on phone, very honestly, being very brutally honest. I have an Xbox Series S. I game on that, so I can't really speak to the gaming performance of it. But it honestly is going to give you like 5% less performance than your 2025 flagships. Like I said, overkill chipset, underwhelming usage. So no need to worry about those things. Now, we've already reached the 10-minute mark. Do you think you should buy this? Do I think you should buy this? Uh, do I think you should buy this? Um, I do think you should buy this. This is a great deal if you can get it at 75 or even 80,000. The S24 Ultra is not going to let you down. It's a really, really good phone. It's a great phone at a great package. If you're someone who's thinking of buying the Nothing Phone 3, genuinely don't do that. Just get the S24 Ultra. It's still a better deal. And yeah, all in all, it's a great phone. If you can get it for the right price, it probably becomes even more value for money. It was value for money when it launched. It is still value for money. And always remember, this is an ultra phone. It is for a certain user, for a power user. And if you're not that, right, any phone you buy beyond like 60, 70,000, an ultra variant of any phone, you're going to feel like you've wasted money. So don't do that. And I hope you enjoy your new device. If you like the video, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one.